Hey YouTube. Um, I am going to do something a little different today, and I thought my next video was going to be sort of a recap of my recent trip to Sturgis, and I last minute changed it up. I'm just kind of winging this video right now, so uh, I'm at home working from home today. I got a little bit of a head cold, so a little kind of nasally and stuffy, and not COVID. I did a test, and I'm COVID negative, so. But anyways, I am doing this video on our decision to go solar. We went solar a couple months ago, turned it on, and wanted to give you. Got our first full month electric bill today, and we were pleasantly surprised. We had a credit on our electricity bill, so I thought I would talk a little bit about that today. So I'm going to go back to the beginning and kind of start from there. And I'm in my office right now, and it's kind of a nice day. So I think I'm going to take a walk outside, and we can talk a little bit about this. Actually, hold on. No, I can't go outside right now because on my computer screen I have some numbers, and I need to talk about those first. So, anyways, we went solar at the beginning of the summer, and when we built this new log home, we always knew we might want to go solar, and so we uh, did the entire house on electricity. So, our heating system is a heat pump, electric heat pump. Our cooking, our stove is electric. Our washer and dryer is electric. There's no combustible energy here. There's no fossil fuels. There's no oil, no gas, no propane. All electric. When we built the house and when we first moved in, electricity costs were like so I don't know how electricity works everywhere in the country, but here in Massachusetts, there's a generation cost and there's a delivery cost. And so when I talk about pricing per kilowatt hour, I'm talking about the combined generation and delivery cost. So when we first moved in, the cost of electricity was like 20 and a half cents, almost 21 cents per kilowatt hour. And the house was pretty efficient. It's pretty well insulated, and uh, we figured we would go solar at some point, but we weren't quite ready to do that yet. Uh, in our first winter here, it, it was a little costly to run the electricity, the heat pump and stuff, but it wasn't more than our last home, which was on oil. I think our highest month when we first moved in during the winter might have been like 2,000 kilowatt hours, and our bill was like 400 and something bucks. I forget what it was. I'd have to go back and look through my history to give you exact numbers, but it was in the 400s. Um, but last winter, Eversource doubled. Can you believe that? They doubled the cost of electricity per kilowatt hour, and the rates went up to 41 cents per kilowatt hour. And it was last year when we said, you know what, we can't pay 41 cents per kilowatt hour. That's like 900 bucks a month in electricity. So last year we decided to get a pellet stove, and the pellet stove saved us a ton of money. We it probably saved us half. It probably cut our heating bill in half last year, which was great. But by the time the summer rolled around, we knew our electricity bill was going to go up again uh, using the air conditioning. And I think our highest month in our first year here. Sorry, I hear our dryer going off. If you hear the music in the background, clothes dryer. Anyways, our highest month in the first summer we were here was somewhere in the 1,500 kilowatt hours. And when the rates were 20 cents, it was like 400 bucks a month. That whatever that was. I'd have to go back again. I'd have to go back and look. But at 41 cents a kilowatt hour, we just weren't willing to pay it. So we finally, uh, you know, Eversource raising, doubling the cost of electricity, pushed us over um, on our decision to go solar much sooner than we were ready to. But anyway, so we went solar. We used a local company in Massachusetts called SGE Solar. I did get an estimate from another company who my wife's cousin recently used, and his proposal just didn't quite add up to me. It didn't make sense to me. The way our house is set up, the back side of our roof doesn't get a lot of sun, and that company was proposing a really large system, uh, putting panels on the front and back of our roof, and it didn't make sense to me to put panels on the back side when they would only work at like 40% efficiency. So I went and got another estimate from a local company that had some good reviews, and they were pretty honest. They said they didn't think panels should go on the back side of the roof. We wouldn't get our money worth. So we ended up putting a let me just I'm gonna look at my computer screen here. My tripod's broken, so I'm trying to hold my selfie stick here. Anyway, so we put in we got a 10 point, let me just look again, 10.8 kilowatt system, and we got QPeak 400 watt panels, and we have 27 panels up on the roof, and then we got um, the inverter and all that stuff and all the electrical work and everything in the quote. And the base price for our entire solar system was $37,692. We asked them to put it, because we have a metal roof, and we had some issues with snow avalanches. They suggested putting a snow guard up over the front and rear steps. They offered as a courtesy to put a snow guard up over our back steps as well, even though we weren't putting panels up in the back. So that was another $400. So the total cost of the system was $38,092. There's a state credit, Massachusetts state credit of $1,000 tax credit, and there's a federal tax credit of 30%, which comes out to $11,427. So the combined tax credit is $12,427. So we'll see a credit in our taxes this year, and we'll get some of that money back. So the actual cost of the system to us is $25,664.40. After the install, and I'll show you this when I go outside, I wasn't pleased with the visual of the panels, because we put panels on our covered porch, and when you get to a certain distance from the house, you can see under the panels, and you can see the mounting hardware, and it was driving me nuts, and I didn't like the visuals. So the solar company was super nice about it, and they offered to extend the snow rails across the entire portion of the roof at no additional charge, just to make me happy. So that was nice, and it did work. It blocked the view of the mounting hardware, and everything looks good now. So, anyways, so that was our cost. This month we got our first full month, uh, electric bill, and to our surprise, we had a credit of $21.80. So we overproduced last month, and I suspect with the use of the pellet stove throughout the winter, it's gonna be a consistent overproduction. Um, we are enrolled in a solar renewable energy credit, where we'll get about a $370 per year check for the next 10 years. That comes out every April, and we'll get that every year. So I guess if we put that back into the loan, we'd pay our loan down faster. We have a 10-year loan on it. The cost of our loan right now is about a little over $300 a month. The first year is interest only, and then it will go into 300. It'll go up to a $300 a month payment. So for the first year, it's like $99 a month, and then about $99 and some change, and then starting in year two, it goes up to a little over $300 a month. If we were to take our entire $12,000+ tax credit and put it into, back on the loan, it would bring our payments down to about $190 a month for the next 10 years, and then after that, we're energy independent. So I think it was a good move to go solar, especially with the cost of electricity being 41 cents a kilowatt hour. Just outrageous. I don't know how they get away with doubling the rates in 1 year, but they did. So let's take you outside, and I'm going to turn the camera around, and we are going to take a look at the panels, and you can see what they did. And anybody that follows me knows that we are in a log home. We just built it. We've been here almost 2 years, and we're loving it. So I'm going to flip the camera around, and I'm going to give you a quick view of what we've done. Okay, so as you can see, we have all of our panels on the front, and we have 11 panels right up between the two dormers, and then the remaining panels are running across the top of the porch roof. They're slightly offset. I would have liked to have had them in the center, but the way they explained it to me is if they centered it, the two panels furthest to the right would get shaded by the dormer somewhat, and they wouldn't be as efficient, so they had to offset it a little. I still would have preferred it, even if we lost a little bit of generation. Visually, I would have preferred it in the middle, but I was working the day they did the install, and by the time I got back and saw what they did, it was too late to change it, but it's fine. It is what it is. So anyways, I don't know if you can see the snow reel. Let me see if you can see it from the side angle, but they put a snow reel. Ooh, that sun is bright today, which is great for solar energy. No, I can't get a view of the snow reel. It's just too discreet to see it. Oh, maybe you can right there. So anyways, they put the snow reel up. They ran it across the whole roof. They put the inverter right next to our electrical panel, and they ran the wiring right up along the contour of the roof. To clean install, they did offer to paint the conduit and stuff black, but I told them not to bother. And then let's take a walk around the back and see if we can see the snow reel they put up on the back side of the house for us. That was sort of a courtesy where they threw a snow reel up on the back side over our porch deck. It would have been nice to do the whole roof, but it was a courtesy, so I'm not going to complain. But they put a snow reel up over the deck, which is nice because with a metal roof and a steep pitch like this, when it snows, it really avalanches. It's kind of dangerous, so it was nice of them to throw that up for us. So anyway, we're pretty happy with the install. We did have an issue initially in the person from the solar company that I was dealing with, the sales rep, was super nice about getting it taken care of. But we have a brand new driveway. It's only a year and a half old. And the delivery company that dropped the panels, they asked me to set a cone up where I wanted the stuff delivered. And I put the cone right here where the trailer's parked. I had moved the trailer. I asked them to drop it right there. Told them not to go on the driveway. I didn't want any damage. I put the cones up. I wasn't here for the delivery. My mother-in-law came over for it. And she showed up, and they were right in the middle of delivering the equipment. And he parked right here. He dropped the skid, and then his forklift couldn't lift it, and he dragged the skid all the way across my driveway and dropped it right over here where this car is parked. And he left a bunch of huge scrapes and gouges in my driveway. And I was so pissed off. But it wasn't the solar company that made the delivery. It was a contractor, like a trucking company. And so my install guy complained to the trucking company, and the trucking company said that they would cover the expense of repairing it. So I called the guy that installed the driveway. He sent a crew out. They did an estimate. They decided that it wasn't worth patching any of the gouges because they weren't deep enough, and he suggested just seal coating the driveway. And so the trucking company paid for the seal coat job. So I guess in the end it all worked out. But anyways, so I forgot to mention, if you noticed, they did throw a panel up on the side of each of these dormers. And that was just to get a little bit more solar production. I think those two dormer panels get the most production, believe it or not. But anyways, that is our solar install. So our house is pretty much complete at this point. I mean, it's never going to be complete. We're always going to be doing something, but you know, the plan that we made when we built this house to go solar and get energy independent and everything, it all fell into place for us. So, um, anyways, we're happy at this point with our solar. And if anything changes, I will update you in a future video. But if you have any questions, drop me a comment, ask away, and let me know what you think. Good decision to go solar, bad decision to go solar. I think at this point it was a good decision, and uh, that's all I got for you today. My next video will be about Sturgis, I promise. My wife and I had a great time in Sturgis, and I'm gonna, jump on the bike and take a ride, uh, and maybe talk about our experience and the things that we did, and what we liked about Sturgis and what we didn't like about Sturgis. But, um, anyways, thanks for watching, and we will catch up with you in the next video.